My name is Emma. This was my first year as a teacher. I was 26 years old and very nervous. Every morning, I stood in front of the mirror and practiced my smile. I wanted to look confident, but inside I was scared. Teaching was my dream, but real life felt different from my plans. I worked at a small secondary school in a quiet town. The students were young and curious. Some listened carefully while others talked too much. Still, I loved my job. When I stood in the classroom, I felt strong and useful. Teaching gave my life meaning. At home, my life was not the same. I was married to Daniel for 4 years. He worked long hours at an office. At first, we talked every night. We shared our dreams and fears. But slowly, our conversations became short. He was always tired. I was always busy with lesson plans. Silence filled our house. Sometimes we ate dinner without speaking. Sometimes, Daniel checked his phone while I talked. I felt invisible. I told myself this was normal in marriage. I told myself to be patient. At school, I met Mark, another teacher. He taught history. He was kind and calm. He always asked how my day was. When I spoke, he listened carefully. That felt rare to me. We talked during lunch breaks. We shared small stories about students and work. I laughed more at school than at home. I did not plan this feeling. It came quietly like a shadow. One evening after a hard day, Mark said, "You are doing well. Your students are lucky." No one had said that to me before. That night, I thought about his words. I felt happy and guilty at the same time. I was married. I loved my husband. But something inside me felt empty. I did not touch Mark. I did not say anything wrong. But my heart felt confused. This was the start of my first year as a teacher. And also the start of my biggest mistake. Days passed quickly at school. My confidence grew. Students smiled when they saw me. Mark and I worked together often. We planned lessons and school events. Our conversations became deeper. We talked about childhood dreams. We talked about fears. Mark told me he was divorced. He said his marriage ended because they stopped talking. His words stayed in my mind. At home, Daniel came late every night. When I asked him about his day, he answered with one word. When I shared my feelings, he nodded but did not listen. One afternoon, Mark and I stayed late to prepare exams. The school was quiet. The sun went down slowly. We sat in silence for a moment. "You look tired," he said. "So do you," I replied. We laughed softly. He said, "Teaching is hard, but you are strong." Those words warmed my heart. I started waiting for our talks. I checked the time for lunch breaks. I felt excited when I saw his name on my phone for work messages. I knew this was wrong. One evening, Mark sent a message. "Thank you for today. Talking with you helps me." I stared at the screen. My heart beat fast. I replied, "Me too." That was the moment I crossed the line. Nothing physical happened. But emotionally, I was not loyal. I started sharing things with Mark that I did not share with my husband. I hid my phone. I smiled for someone else. At night, guilt kept me awake. I remembered my wedding day. I remembered promises. But I also remembered loneliness. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself it would stop soon. But emotions do not listen to rules. One night, Daniel noticed my phone. "You smile a lot these days," he said. My heart dropped. He did not shout. He did not accuse me. That hurt more. I tried to explain. I said it was only talking. I said nothing physical happened. But words sounded weak. Daniel looked tired and sad. "Why didn't you talk to me?" he asked. I had no answer. The next day at school, I avoided Mark. My heart felt heavy. I realized how deep the damage was. I hurt my husband. I hurt myself. I hurt my values. At home, Daniel and I finally talked. We cried. We argued. We remembered good times. He said he felt replaced. I said I felt ignored. Emotional infidelity had broken our trust. I ended contact with Mark outside work. I asked for distance. He understood and apologized. Still, the pain remained. That night, I understood a hard truth. Silence in a relationship can be dangerous. Time passed. Healing was slow. Daniel and I started counseling. We learned how to listen again. It was not easy. Trust does not return quickly. At school, I focused on teaching. I learned another lesson. People look for connection where they feel valued. My first year as a teacher taught me more than teaching skills. It taught me about honesty, communication, and responsibility. I learned that emotional cheating is real. It may start with words, but it can hurt deeply. I chose to face my mistakes. I chose to grow. Some lessons are taught in classrooms. Others are learned in the heart.